O Fanal é património da humanidade e é único a nível do planeta. Há árvores aqui com mais de 3 mil anos.
When you're coming out to Fanal and talking about that, literally, you will find a lot of what I call bullshit. It's a skeleton of the Laurisilva forest.
Temos que retirar pessoas, evitar o pisoteio e retirar os animais, porque os animais impedem a regeneração natural. Aquela zona está em agonia. E ninguém vê isso.
People can see that they are closing this off and they're still walking through. Since I've been here, I've never seen a guard here. I've never seen this house open. You know, all of us have been quite upset about what's been going on here and no one had been doing anything. And we're like, well, why, you know?
Se nada for feito agora, já, a Madeira e o planeta Terra ficarão mais pobres e as gerações futuras não vão perdoar aqueles que foram incompetentes.
This is Fanal Forest. If you have been to Madeira or are coming to Madeira, you've heard about this place, right? It's probably in the top 4 or 5 attractions on the whole island. And for this reason, there are certain issues happening. In 2025, the kind of, you know, one of the terms of the year of 2025 has been over-tourism, which a lot of people have been talking about. And for those of you who know me, know that this is not the kind of thing that I like to promote so much. I'm not a negative person, I don't like to talk about negative things. And of course, I work in tourism. It would be a little bit contradictory of me to be bashing tourism because I'm in it. So in today's video, this video was supposed to take a different direction. Fortunately enough, 2 or 3 days ago, the government has actually stepped in and they've started working, as myself and Luis have seen, that they are actually working already on closing off access to some of these trees. So this is moving in the right direction. And again, in today's video, what we are doing is we are going to be talking about Fanal. We're going to be explaining a little bit about what's going on here. Not just for me, I found at least one other expert. That might be the only one in this video. We'll see how it goes. Because, like I said, they've started working. So that's already a positive sign from our government. If we had filmed this video 3 days ago, it would have probably been a little bit different. I'm not gonna lie.
A Madeira, como ilha que é uma ilha relativamente jovem, apenas tem 6 milhões de anos. Foi descoberta no século XV e nessa altura atribuíram-lhe o nome de Madeira. Porquê Madeira? Porque a ilha estava toda coberta com uma vegetação densa que vinha até ao mar. E essa vegetação não era nada mais nem nada menos do que a atual Laurisilva. Em dezembro de 1999, em Marrakech, Laurissilva alcança o galardão máximo mundial de Património Natural Mundial da UNESCO. Eu conheci o Fanal sem estrada, sem gente, sem vacas, e era um sítio ancestral, antigo, milenar antigo. Bom, e o Fanal então foi atribuído o estatuto de reserva de repouso e silêncio, em que o acesso deveria ser exclusivamente pedonal.
When you're coming out to Fanal and talking about that, literally, you will find a lot of what I call bullshit around here. Because yes, there are cows here in Fanal. And one of the issues that I had was that cows don't belong in the Laurisilva forest. And this is the issue here, you know, because now we've got this kind of problem where Fanal has got 2 meanings. It's got one meaning to the locals, all right? It's got another meaning to the ecosystem, all right? To what we call the Laurisilva ecosystem. So if you look around here, this doesn't look like Laurisilva, all right? I'm gonna show you what Laurisilva looks like. And as Henrique in our video said, in our interview, we made an interview with one of my friends, Henrique, one of my new friends, Henrique, who said that this is the skeleton of a forest. And it's true, it's the skeleton of the Laurisilva forest because there should be foliage, there should be something growing. Here's actually some heather that's growing through the grass.
Com a introdução de vacas e ovelhas, a ovelha encarregou-se rapidamente de destruir a vegetação rente ao solo. A vaca é um animal que pesa pelo menos 500 kg, portanto tem uma ação de pisoteio em 4 patas. Portanto, a terra vai ficando compactada. A água já tem dificuldade de pergolar, de infiltrar-se. E agora tem pessoas, milhares de pessoas. Eu há pouco tempo estive lá, vi milhares de pessoas, centenas de carros em cima da terra. Vi zonas que eu fiquei aterrorizado, zonas em que já não há vegetação, há barro vermelho, a erva desapareceu, as ervas, os líquenes, tudo desapareceu. Portanto, aquela zona está num colapso ecológico iminente.
And I get it is cute. This is the only place in the world where you're going to find a cow next to an ancient laurel tree. Is it sustainable? I don't know. Is it, in terms of the ecosystem, correct? No. But would you say it's a Madeiran thing? Would you say it's a cultural thing? Would you say it's a traditional and a part of our customs, part of our history? Yes. And these things usually are one of the biggest things to change. Also, it's a political issue. I have looked into this kind of thing, and I don't want to go into politics about who the farmers are and why their cows are here. But again, it goes back to the traditional side of life here in Madeira. So that's a tough one. And if it was up to me, I personally would get rid of the cows. I would put them somewhere else. And that would be one of the first changes that I would do. So number one is get rid of the cows, in my opinion, all right? Let's see what else we're gonna do about Fanal. And yeah, we're gonna show you around a little bit, and hopefully we don't catch anyone climbing any trees. If you come here, do not climb the trees, do not damage the trees. You can touch them, all right? Just don't climb or damage them. We can see a first phase here that they are closing off as much as they can to protect these trees. And this is a necessity, because people have abused it and now everyone has to pay for it. These guys really chose the right time to do it, and we are thankful that they are doing it. What I did want to talk about on this side over here is the second problem that we have, which is the ground, right? So over there, you can very well see it. And over there, the paths, all right, the walking paths where people are walking on, they're stomping the ground, and it's slowly killing the grass. After people walking on the ground, they've of course made the ground hard, and the water can't go through, can't help support the ecosystem around it.
Fizemos levantamento durante 3 anos, percorrendo a pé toda a área de ocorrência da Laurissilva, seguindo um método de análise à vegetação. E ficámos com a noção, finalmente, com a noção da área de ocorrência da Laurissilva, do seu estado de conservação, quais as espécies que estavam mais ameaçadas, quais as espécies que estavam raras, quais as espécies que estavam em vias de extinção. Foi este livro que surge em 1992, que depois foi traduzido para em inglês pela UCN, a International Union for the Conservation of Nature, e que foi a guia base para a avaliação da floresta Laurissilva pela UNESCO. Portanto, isto foi uma ação fundamental. Porquê? Porque aqui está retratada a caracterização da Laurissilva. Como ela é, eu penso que ainda está assim à estação do Fanal.
So one of the biggest, what some people have said online, and I agree with, I think it's a good idea, is that they should create like a walkway, a lifted walkway through the forest. Now, I honestly think this is a great idea. I think that maybe if you come to Madeira in the next couple of years, I do think this will take a long time. I'm hoping, and again, I don't want to be political about this, but I'm hoping that the government doesn't come in and put in a couple of fences and say that that's it and off you go. I honestly do hope that there is some proper infrastructure coming into here. What I would suggest is to have an entry, an exit, and a path that goes through Fanal on a lifted broad walk kind of thing, what we in Portuguese call a passadiço, and most of them are paid, right? So yes, you know, I think that this needs some work. And I think that this would resolve the problem of the ground, right? Because obviously if it's lifted, then everything else can grow under and around, and people aren't stomping on the ground and killing the ground, the soil kind of thing. So that's one of the issues, and that would certainly fix it. I think what I should show you guys now is what Laurisilva actually looks like, right? Let's do that.
O til é uma espécie de crescimento lento, é um mogno. Tem a faculdade de ser uma árvore quase que eterna. Porquê que é eterna? Porque o til regenera a partir de rebentos da base do tronco. Mas o til em si, a árvore em si, está sempre a regenerar. Se for possível. Não é possível porque as vacas adoram a folhagem do til. E impedem que o til regenere a partir da base, a partir do colo e a partir do tronco. Portanto, hoje o que se vê é a parte aérea do til alta e o resto despido. Portanto, a parte aérea morrendo porque vai evoluindo, vai envelhecendo, morre, cai, mas depois teria os novos rebentos que iriam recompor a parte que desaparece. Isso não está a acontecer e eu vi há pouco tempo, diz a morrer de pé, a agonizar de pé.
I think here is a little bit more, you know, it's a bit more dense. The trees, I think, are nicer. So there are, unfortunately, a lot of invasive plants that shouldn't be here. I can see some berries and things like that, blackberries. But, and you know, some of the guys say that the cows eat those invasive plants. So you don't see invasive plants around the greener areas where the grass is because the cows eat them. But the cows also eat these shoots. And this is something that I learned as well from my new friend Henrique. And it must be these, of course. So you see these little shoots. These are the shoots that come out of these old trees because it is a regenerative tree. And for that reason, you know, these shoots come out and these shoots are being eaten by the cows. So that's an issue to think about. But then also, here's the rest of it, right? So here we can see some heather, right? This is heather over here. And the heather is a fundamental component of our forest and the ferns as well. And this part of the majority of Fanal has disappeared, right? So in my perfect world, then that would all be regrown, you know, and replanted. Now, is it going to be, does it have to be? I don't know. But this is what the real forest should look like. Remember, this is a skeleton of the forest. This is an idea of what these trees should be looking like. There should be these ferns, but the cows are eating them. So it's not quite looking the same. Still looking here, a lot of invasive plants, of course next to the roads that is, but yeah, here's some more ferns over here. These are dried out, but it looks like it's naturally dry. Here's a good example of how important the heather is for our ecosystem because it's got water droplets here. It collects the water and it kind of holds onto the water, and it's our water producer is our heather. And we see very little heather in Fanal, you know, we just see the trees. So it's just the skeleton.
A Laurisilva tem uma capacidade fantástica de regeneração. Se permitirem, se deixarem, se não houver homens, se não houver gado. No Fanal em si, ele está em ruptura ecológica e é iminente. Portanto, o que eu defendo é que a área seja completamente protegida, completamente vedada ao pitoteio e aos animais, porque ela vai regenerar. E a natureza regenera se lhe dermos a oportunidade. No caso do Fanal, é possível e é desejável plantar criteriosamente espécies que já lá estiveram e que desapareceram. Portanto, é possível e é desejável e é uma ação tecnicamente correta. Temos que estar atentos porque, como houve uma degradação grande, há espécies oportunistas que vão lá chegar a espécies invasoras, gestas, etc. E quando finalmente as entidades decidirem que aquela área tem que ser regenerada, tem que haver uma vigilância constante no terreno. Não é com imagem, é no terreno. E ter uma atenção especial, porque elas vão aparecer em força em relação às espécies invasoras.
I've never seen any kind of vigilance, any kind of forest police, be it from the forest board, be it from the police side, be it from the nature guards. I've not seen anyone here ever. So I would install cameras, and of course I would hire someone to be here policing these places, you know, physically, because maybe that's what it takes, right? But I was hoping that maybe we could walk here and we could see somebody. Let's go. Let's have a little look around and let's see if we can find a forest ranger. Doesn't look like anyone's home. Needs a bit of work as well, eh? Maybe a little paint job, huh? A paint job, a new light bulb over here, eh? You know what? I'm glad that they started doing something, because my initial plan for this video was to show how embarrassing the situation is. So I'm glad that I don't have to put too much effort into that. But of course, it would be nice to see some people here, some doors open, some windows happening, you know, 1 or 2 guys here. Be good, even just to have like first response. If something happens, then it's like, hey. And like I say, I think the best point of action is to have a couple of cameras around and these guys to be here watching. And if something's happened, it's been videoed. They can check who the person is and they can go after that person for crimes against UNESCO heritage site forest. So, yeah. Fanal feels a little bit more civilized right now. You know, the fences, we're gonna walk through and check. This is the second day back at the shoot. And you know, this tree doesn't really, you don't get the vibe anymore that it's trying to run away, right? Even like the unprotected trees, I think are gonna be more protected even psychologically, because there's a little bit more order, you know? This is what we had the plan for the picnic area, I think, right? So, I mean, it's open space, you could build a shopping mall if you wanted to. but no, you know, picnic area, this is perfect. So there are still some trees that are, I don't know if these guys are going to close them off. But probably still a better idea just to close really everything. But I guess 1 or 2 out there, maybe cameras. So you can still, this could be like some kind of an attraction in itself, right? Put a camera somewhere that it's pointing that way so nobody touches it. And you can come here and do your shot, right? I mean, it's sad to see. You know, were you gonna get rid of it or you're gonna just leave it? Of course, if it's nature, you just leave it. But it could be a statement, right? It could be a statement. You could make it a statement. This video, you know, had to be done well. It had to be done well because it was the inception of an idea. You know, that was what I was trying to portray when I was planning this video. Thankfully, the government was also planning and they've done something. But in the beginning, I was planning some kind of presentation as to what my ideas were for this place. And my ideas are quite elaborate. The way I see it, it has to be a world-class project, right? So you can't just be fencing off trees, right? Obviously. But, you know, where is the parking? Where is the camp section, right? So camping for me, I love camping in Fanal. I've spent many hours camping in Fanal. Today, Andrea and I came to do something that we have done before in the past and we've loved doing. Unfortunately, the conditions weren't perfect, you know, we're not going to be able to shoot the stars. The sunset was great, but this was a part of our kind of joy of Fanal, is camping in Fanal. So I don't think we should get rid of the camping, but I think we should get rid of the camping within these nucleuses. And then I think there should be a free section on that side, as well as closed off reforestation parts as well, which is another issue. Since I've been speaking to these experts, a lot of them have told me that you just need to leave it alone, as Henrique said. But showing reforestation is really, you know, it's pulling out little weeds, right? And we all know there's that famous phrase, you know, that the garden full of weeds, right? If you take a weed out every day, the garden flourishes, right? Instead of trying to take out all the weeds at one go. So the reforestation would have to be a project, and there would have to be staff that would be here looking after the caretaker or something. There's no one here that does that kind of thing. It's not a jab, right? It's just my ideas. You know, if there's money coming in, which there has to be money coming into this to protect it, because we need a world-class project. For those of you who maybe don't know, there was the Freire de Madeira project that they did to rehabilitate and to protect that bird, and we have a world-class protection program. So much so, and somebody can correct me on this one, but there is a place in Scotland, I believe there is a project somewhere in Scotland related to different birds that used our project model to conserve their bird. And now again, somebody please correct me on who, because I remember seeing it, I can't remember, it was a long time ago. Residents should not pay, but we can see that the government's already doing that kind of thing on the hikes and stuff, so that's correct. And again, not bashing, but that's kind of, you know, where I've been going on. Open 24 hours, right? Open 24 hours, because a lot of people come here at this time, you know, to shoot the stars and things like that. So you should not be able to prohibit the photography, because that's what makes Fanal also so popular. And of course, we're just going to keep, you know, making Fanal popular. Looks like the cows have been kind of figured out in a way, right? If you block off the trees, and you can take the cows away from the trees. And sometimes it's those really obvious ones that we miss, right? Because you know it's a problem, but that seems to be fixed. And if you let them roam around here, maybe this can be some kind of, you know, picnic area as it is already. So you're not really changing anything if people can come here. You know, they just have to come through the entrance, and everyone has to come through the entrance. And there has to be surveillance, there has to be somebody walking around, there has to be boards explaining the trees and the things like that, and the forest, and why this forest is so unique. Yeah, man. It's toilet paper. Hey, can you believe it? It looks, I mean, it looks like toilet paper. It's dark. But I don't want to touch it.
Don't touch it.
Oh, man.
Não, eu acho que é extremamente fácil. É preciso vontade e arrojo, audácia e querer vedar a área. Aquela área é do governo, aqui são terrenos públicos. Não são de particulares, aqui são terrenos públicos. O estado em que o Fanal está requer uma ação urgente, importante. Era vedar a área, permitindo o acesso de pessoas em passadiços, supostamente, mas nada de vacas, nada de ovelhas, nada de acampamentos. Estabelecer um número de carga e um limite diário de carga humana, mas essencialmente dar a oportunidade ao Fanal, às árvores e ao terreno que renasce, recupera, regenera. Isso é possível e é fácil. Deixar a natureza agir, porque é fácil. É preciso que se queira, é preciso que se faça.
Firstly, I'd like to say thank you. I'd like to send a quick shout out thank you to Isa for actually, you know, convincing me to do this. She didn't have to do much convincing, but this was your idea, Isa, so thank you for that. Also, thank you for our guests, Henrique and Marco. We couldn't have done this video so well, I hope, without you guys. So thank you for your contribution. And really signing off, I just want to kind of leave that idea that what we have to do is to keep our contributions up. If everybody plays their part, if everybody is looking out for each other and the nature, then, you know, really we don't have to put pressure, make pressure on these kinds of things. There wasn't, you know, okay, maybe myself being honest, you know, I've been in trouble for being honest before, for being a little bit too honest in tourism. And by being honest, you know, I did hope that this would put some kind of pressure on, or at least spark an idea. That was my thought, was that how could I make things better? You know, and it came to the idea that I can plant a seed, you know, as an idea. So that's all it is, which means that idea needs to be picked up by somebody, whoever, you know, maybe it's you watching, you know, maybe you say, yes, you know what, this is how we need to do it. Maybe it's everybody, every one of us when we come here, to not climb the trees, to, you know, to be nice to each other, and also to help other people as well. If we see somebody doing something that they shouldn't be doing, to say, hey, listen, you know, be careful or whatever. Even though all of us guides all know that that doesn't usually end very well. But I have had the occasion of people saying, you know what, yes, you're right, thank you. And then straight after saying, we love your videos. So that has happened to me before in the past, but that's what we need to do. So not going to take up any more of your time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope this video served its purpose. Let us know what you think. Let us also know what you want to see more of in the future. You know, that's what we're here to do. And Andre,
what's at the road?
Oh man, I see stars, man.
You see stars?
Yeah, do you want to work a little bit longer, or, you know, we've all got jobs, you know, you just came out of the shoot, you know, I got the office going on.
Yeah, I mean, we can do something.
I can do something? Yeah, okay. Well, in that case...